Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 77 on this Thursday night. This week has been flying by. I think with having a day off, everything just went super quick.
For sure.
And also cramming 5 days work into 4 days is also stressful.
This is really never a day off.
Yeah. But I have some great news to share with you. I now am the proud owner of boots. In February, middle of February in Chicago, I had no boots until this time.
Trying to avoid the glare over here.
So in case you missed it, either my boots are underneath my desk at work, which I haven't been at my desk since last March, and that wouldn't be unusual for me to like wear boots and then I didn't need boots to come home and wear my shoes home. So that's a possibility. Or I hated my boots last year and I ended up throwing them out thinking I'd get other ones. So
Well, it could be at work because it doesn't help that we constantly get snow in March and, when it should be over with.
Yeah, so I definitely needed something to obviously keep my feet warm and everything. But these are super warm and fluffy and super deluxe.
Have you put them on?
I did, yeah. And actually I was wearing them for a little bit, but then it was like too hot inside the house. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to take those off now. But I'm prepared for the next time it snows. I will. Well, it's gonna snow.
And they're waterproof because it says so.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but it says waterproof on there, so I'm set. And I think I'll have these for a really long time. They're Columbia from Amazon, so a good boot, and I'm super happy that my feet are gonna be toasty.
We have to kind of cut it short. Not this second.
Yeah, and we're done.
Because of technical problems. That's what we should call it.
We should.
Please stand by.
Yeah.
Because my other computer, which we normally post from, decided to just not start up today.
Yeah.
Just didn't start up. And it's a mystery.
It is a mystery. So and it stinks that happens. Obviously, when all your stuff is on there. You want to be able to access.
That's not the problem though, because I have an older computer, and through the magic of iCloud, I basically have everything. So that's not what the problem is. The problem is, whether it's Instagram or it's an Apple thing, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to connect to two different Instagram accounts on a Mac.
Yeah.
You can do it on the phone, you can do it on an iPad, not any problem. But the problem is that our joint account is tied to my account. In other words, I had an account and then we created a second account and we used my Gmail address or whatever. I can't even remember.
I think it was the Gmail.
So now the problem is that on the laptop, it only recognizes my original account. It won't let me log into
our joint account.
Our joint account. So we can do a 15-minute video on the phone or the iPad, but on the computer you can upload a longer one.
Right.
But it doesn't somehow or another recognize. It just won't let you switch.
And we know for sure we're using the right password, so it's not.
So yeah, that's true. But so somehow we managed to, on my old laptop, instead of using Safari, the main browser on a MacBook, we used Firefox, and we were able to log in. However, on this old computer, we cannot do it.
Yeah.
Even with Firefox.
Yeah.
So there is some weird thing where, a Mac stores all of your you ask it. It asks if you want to store them, your passwords, but normally, if you store your passwords in what they call a keychain, that's great because then you always have access to them if you forget.
And I love that because I forget all the time and I'm like, oh yeah, it knows my password.
But the problem is that if you I don't know if this is exactly what the problem is. The problem is if you have two or three different accounts on Instagram and they're all in your keychain, it like somehow or another prioritizes them. So it only lets you access your main account, the first account, through Safari. Somehow we were able to trick the computer by launching Firefox and signing on Firefox instead of Safari. But for reasons that are beyond, I guess I should say above my pay grade, On my old laptop, we can't do that. You go to Firefox and it won't let us.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why it should ever be that complicated. Because on the phone, you know, if you're in one account, you can just toggle back and forth
I
between
know.
the two accounts, and I assume more. So for some reason, you can do it on the phone, but you can't do it, at least not easily, on the computer.
And that's the problem because it won't let you do an Instagram post longer than 15 minutes on your phone because if
Or
you
an
try
iPad. Anything with
Yeah.
iOS or like Android.
Right. It'll prevent you from putting the whole thing up. That's why we were putting it up and uploading it through the computer so that we could go up to an hour and not have it. Because,
Right.
I mean, a lot of times, obviously, we just fly up by the seat of our pants. So we're just, like, kind of, like, talking, you know, what's going on in our lives and everything like that. And, you know, all of a sudden, we've talked for 20 or 25 minutes. So having to have, like, that hard stop at 15 minutes is complicated.
But on the iPhone, you can be in one account and then just tap and switch accounts. No
Oh
problem.
my God, that's my waffle.
That was your one. And
That's why I'm wearing the scarf because I got syrup on my dress today.
And it's also in my account. Your waffle is also in my account. And our friend Steve, Steven and Scott out in New Jersey are out to dinner. Oh no, actually no. I bet you he made that. Steven probably made that
Probably.
because he's a cook. Anyway, so the point is that we have to cut it short because we can only do 15 minutes.
Yeah, and we're just going to try to figure it out because I think there might be a way to switch our Jen and Dave to a business account, add admins. I don't know how that works, so
It's all very confusing.
yeah, I need to Google that some more.
I still think it's a Mac thing, and it has to do with this keychain thing. And the further complicating it, if you have an iCloud account, which I guess you have an Apple account, you have an iCloud account. If your keychain is tied to your iCloud account, that's great because that means I can get passwords on my phone or on my one laptop or my other laptop. But then the problem is it always, you know, if you have a problem switching between accounts on one Mac, you're going to have it on the other Mac if they're all tied to
Right.
your iCloud account. So there you go.
Yeah,
And we're just like, you know, we're like old people, so we shouldn't have to deal with this.
it should just like be, just work.
Yeah. Well, it is frustrating that it works seamlessly on the phone, but there are limitations. But on the computer, it's much more complicated. I feel like that, you know, Phil Hartman, it's the unfortunately late Phil Hartman, used to do that thing on that character on Saturday Night Live where he was the unfrozen caveman lawyer.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Sometimes that's how I feel when we're dealing with these things.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was-
But you're not a lawyer, so you wouldn't
That's
necessarily
right.
it wouldn't come to mind as often as it
No.
does. Your microphone is way off over there. It doesn't make any difference. That's a whole.
Check.
The sound problems are a whole different issue.
Yeah, our studio is a little,
Everything's falling apart.
yeah, all systems and procedures.
We're gonna have to move. Get a new house. Get
Start
a new
over
computer.
again.
Start over. Get a new
Have everything
identity.
separate.
We need to go into the witness protection plan program. That is.
Yeah,
Oh, and there's
our cat's running
the
around.
cats running around like crazy people.
I had mentioned this morning on my other account that Waffle spilled my makeup in the bathroom this morning.
It
so
was the loudest
it was
thing I
so
think
loud,
I've
and I was
ever
like,
heard.
"What is that?" To me, it sounded like glass breaking because I was just like,
Yeah.
I was at the mirror in the bathroom. But she, and I know this, they love climbing in the sink, so it's not something that's unusual for them to do. You know,
See
they
if we
just
can-
like climbing in there. So I was making waffles. One waffle was
Yeah.
getting into mischief. So that was.
I was sitting at my desk is right there, and I couldn't believe how loud it was.
So, and the problem, everything went just so I actually just disinfected everything because it got behind the toilet, it got, you know, just everywhere and stuff like that, so it was pretty gross. So everything's clean and disinfected. I washed all my makeup brushes, so I'm back in business.
That's good news.
Yeah.
And I didn't complain about the reason why my other computer died on me,
That's true.
which well, it didn't. I mean, it just won't start up, so I don't know if it's dead or not. But I made the mistake of trying to use it for work email, and then had to register with the IT department in our company, and then from then on, and it worked fine yesterday. I did that, downloaded Outlook, registered it. Everything was fine yesterday, and then this morning it just nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even like go past, well, really like trying to start
Yeah.
it. So it's almost like when you are uploading to the newest version or whatever, and you've got that line that goes across, but it just never gets any further than that.
Oh, it makes it makes a weird like whooshing sound after a while.
Yeah.
It gets about 2/3 of the way, and then it stops, and then there's this sound that sounds like the sound that it would make when it's sending an email.
Yes.
Um,
It's
and then the screen goes blank, and then a few seconds later, there's an error message that said, "We encountered a problem. You have to restart your computer." And just the same thing over and over and over again.
and that's not like a thing that you can, like a regular person can't just take the battery out and try to put the battery back in. That's not a thing on there, right?
Well, it used to be, but now I think it's the same on this older one. They're not regular screws.
Oh, yeah.
So there used to be a part like on the back of your remote where you pull off the thing to slide the batteries in and out.
Yes.
Across the front part on the underneath side of a MacBook, there used to be kind of like a trap door, and it opened sort of like on your remote. You had to press down and slide it out, and you could pull the battery out in case. Well, you could also replace the battery if it needed
Right.
to be replaced. But you could pull the battery out if you absolutely had. It was the only way to restart it.
Right. It's
But
not
I
like
can
you had to be
restart-
like an IT technician to remove
Right.
it.
I can restart it because the startup screen comes up. It asks me to enter my password. It takes the password. I'm definitely entering the password correctly because then it starts to show progress to starting up. And then, like I said, you get the error screen, and then you just hit any key and the process starts over. But on that startup screen, kind of like on a Windows startup screen, if you have to enter your password, it gives you the option to shut down or to
Right.
restart or just enter your password and go from there. So I can shut it down. In other words, I didn't just restart it over and over again.
Right.
Several times I tried the option of actually shutting it down completely, starting over. It didn't work. I talked to Apple on the phone. I talked to our own IT people on the phone.
You got a service ticket.
We got
for
a
it.
ticket. There's a ticket outstanding. I'm gonna get a phone call.
And then on top of that, then we were having internet problems today. So
Yeah, and that was just coincidental.
that was totally not even like related to
Yeah.
it. But then it was like internet problems and things were like
Yeah.
taking forever to upload, and it was just like
My work computer kept telling me that I wasn't connected to our Wi-Fi, but I was emailing, chatting with the IT department through Teams, downloading things.
yeah. You're like, I think I'm
So-
I'm online.
I was connected to something.
Our neighbor's Wi-Fi.
but then the IT guy sort of like took over my screen remotely, and then at least resolved that problem. So then I wasn't getting these.
That is the best feature ever when you don't know what
Yeah.
you're doing, and it's just like, let me just take over, and it's like, please do, because
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Can you do some of my work while you're at it?
Right, right.
Um,
So yeah,
So we
it
had
was
technical difficulties.
Yeah, it was definitely a technically difficult day today, and just things just took longer than they should have. So hopefully that'll be smooth sailing from here. We'll figure out some other things to try to do a workaround or whatever. But that's what we're up to now. So I'm trying to think. So we don't really have anything going on this weekend. We don't have a 3-day weekend.
I'm sure they'll be shoveling snow,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
cleaning out the litter box.
I was actually surprised when I went to the grocery store last night how many cars are buried in snow, and our village puts tickets on there. So I was like, can you not give them a break? They can't.
Well, you know what they do. We're running out
Yeah.
of time, but they do that because you're supposed to move your car so they can plow. But
I know.
Is
What
it-
can you do if you're not able to do
Yeah,
that? I mean,
right.
that's like impossible.
Right.
Anyway, so we're gonna cut it short, but we will catch up with you guys later, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the night. Bye.